Annup's not bright. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the MEA GT Championship Series here at Daytona International Speedway. I'm SSR Mayhem, also known as Steve Parrish, bringing you tonight's live action here at this wonderful and historic venue. And we are almost near the ending point of the season. It's been non-stop battling up front with a handful, no, I wouldn't say a handful, a few winners on the season between Sean, Barcode, and Bobbards, last week's winner. As we got 3 weeks of racing action still left to go following this week, and boy oh boy, is the championship still rather tight. But nonetheless, we're going to get ready for the starting lineup for tonight's, I believe it's a 34 lapper. I will just double check on that for everybody. It is a 34 lapper. So 34 laps at night. No mandatory pit stops going into the race, or through the race, I should say. I do apologize, multitasking. So the drivers got a little strategy game going on. It's a power track, high speeds. A lot of Maseratis out there, a couple of R8s, and a Cayman will be in the field there tonight. Let's get ready for the starting lineups. Once I get this all set up, normally, you guys know me, I would have this done as fast as I could, but didn't. So, my apologies now. So with that being said, let's get ready for tonight's starting lineup here in the MEA GT Championship Series. Round number 7 here at Daytona. For those that have been following the series, it's that week. It's the week that everybody patiently waits for. It's reverse grid week. But the difference between previous seasons and this season is that it's only inverting the top 10 drivers. So ESV Barcode was your fast time in qualifying. However, starting on the front row tonight for the first time this season, Diamond Man 2014, 10th fastest in qualifying with a 1:42.392. He will start on the front row alongside with RZM Stiggy, who will be in the second spot. It would have been LSEM Semblo, but I do not see Semblo here, so that'll move up RZM Crow, who also is not here. So Adler Girl IG would be next in line for that third spot. She'll start in the third spot of row number 2, alongside with defending champion ESV, or I'm sorry, not defending champ, yes, defending champion ESV Bobberts in that fourth position. Behind Bobberts, it's going to be the AMS boys of AMS Tsunami and AMS Design. Design putting down one of his best qualifying runs this season. Will start in that 6th spot. Behind them, in the 7th spot, it's going to be points leader RZM Sean, who's pretty much well at hand. If he can continue the great runs he's had this season, he should be able to seal the deal in the next couple of weeks here to win this championship, but a lot still on the table. And alongside him, it's going to be ESV Barcode. So 2 out of the 10 drivers in the inverted 10 grid, top 10 I should say, are not here. So it's a top 8 invert. So let's get to the rest of the field. Starting in the 9th position, it's going to be SMX Savitar. Alongside him, it's going to be first time ever Gilbert Tyrell, and hopefully I said his name right. He's going to start in the 10th position on his rookie debut here at MEA. Behind Gilbert is first time this season rookie, I would say in at least this series. We've seen him in 1 or 2 races in the past. It's SSR USA MVP alongside with Riddle U in the 12th spot. Behind Riddle U, it's going to be RZX JJ Reds in that 13th position, alongside with FSM Gray, the rookie, who's been doing a really good job this season. RZX Warren would have been in the 15th spot. Not sure what happened to him. He's no longer with us, so FBR Era will now take over that spot. Alongside Era, it's going to be Sparky Motors, coming off of a very rough week. Got a penalty after last week's race. Looking to bounce back. One of the only oddball cars in the field outside that came in that Barcode guy. He's driving in the Audi R8. And in the final row, it's going to be HGR Benz and RZX Ant rounding out the field. So, we got 18 drivers here this week. We had 22 that were scheduled for tonight. It looks like we're not seeing SMXJ Yankee, who's been putting on a good performance this season, did not actually qualify this week, so that'll hurt him in the championship points. Unfortunately for him not being here tonight, but we hope to see him back next week nonetheless. And we got 18 other drivers. Like I said, we got a bunch of different drivers, but a lot of the same car. And we're just double checking a couple of things here on my end. I'm going to bring up my chat for you guys, for those that like to communicate with me. And we're going to go racing. So everyone's ready up. Everyone's ready to rock and roll. I call this the oddball week just because the inversion. Now typically we would invert the entire field, so we would reverse the entire grid. So in retrospect, Sparky Motors, actually no, he had a dirty time in qualifying. That would have actually been Era who would have started on the front row if we had done it in the traditional MEA reverse grid order. But nonetheless, round number 7 about to kick off here at Daytona International Speedway. Diamond Man on the front row. He's had a great season, not one of the best qualifyings, but hey, it's best not to be great every day, especially on a week like this week. It's the Caymans against the Audi R8s, against a huge field of Maseratis, and we are green here at Daytona. And let's hop back with Barcode, who should be able to get a really good launch in that 105 machine in that Cayman. He's currently started in the 8th spot, and it looks like a bunch of cars didn't load in for me. Thanks, Forza. You're the real hero. Actually, no, it looks like, nope. Okay, I'm wrong. 2 of the drivers actually are using the traditional paint scheme. Oh. Not sure what happened here. Possible restart. Looks like we're doing a restart. So we will be getting a restart called here. So yep, we're getting a restart. Not sure what had happened here. See if I can get any update on what might be going on. And we just got word that RZM Stiggy had a black screen loading into the race lobby. So that is a valid restart reason. No problem there. Get these drivers back on the racetrack. We'll take another shot at this. So the rule of restarting here at MEA is if any loading issues, because this is the only series that we host at MEA where the start of the race is literally you loading into the track and it's green, just like a public hopper for the majority of you that know the public hoppers. So in this case, he had the black screen. Everybody took off in front of him. He had no way to get the car going or knowing where to go. So this is the first restart. We still have 3 more chances if there's any issues up to this point. So just waiting to load on in here. We are green once again here at Daytona as Diamond Man will lead the way at lap number 1. Let's hop back on with Barcode like we were doing the first time. Everyone said he would be getting a really good launch off the start with that Cayman, but I didn't see it this time. He's going side by side with SMX Savitar. He's actually getting shuffled back quite a bit, and I see a lot of cars getting loose back there. I believe that was JJ Reds. Nope, that's AMS Tsunami. I thought I saw a purple car. Typically JJ Reds runs a lot of purple schemes, but that is AMS Tsunami. We haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. Great to have him back in racing form. And so nothing crazy happened, but how about this? Adler Girl IG to the front here early. She gets by both Stiggy and Diamond Man. And what a great place to really take off in front of the field, especially with the championship contenders way in the back, as Barcode and Bobberts didn't really get a good launch off the start. Sean did, however. He's up in that 4th spot. Adler Girl leading the way at lap number 1. RZM Sean right behind the top 3 right now. Hop on with our points leader so far. Good runs through the bus stop. And Stiggy to the inside of his teammate, RZM Sean. Sean was looking for that outside pass. And Bobberts really got shuffled back in the field. He is all the way back into the 11th spot. Defending champion ESV Bobberts with early troubles here at Daytona. No damage to the car, so something had happened that really affected RZM Sean now to the 3rd spot. Battling still, but Stiggy will heal to that. And Adler Girl still leading this one as we are in lap number 2. 1 lap has been completed in this race. So for the rest of the race, we stay green. A lot of people outside the league, couple inside the league, asked us earlier this season or coming into this week, why was the Maserati allowed for this week's race? Well, it was one of like 6 different cars that you could have picked from this week. Granted, we knew that it was probably going to be the highly contested car going in to Daytona. And I'm trying to find the list, but there was about 7 or 8. The Maserati, the Lambo Super, the Cayman, the Porsche RSR, the Audi R8, the M6 BMW, and the Jaguar were all a part of that deal. So options were out there, but when you're in a contention for championship, title hopes, a driver like RZM Sean and Bobberts, and Design are going to do everything they can to avoid losing those points. You got ESV Barcode back there in the 5th spot driving the Cayman. And he's been the oddball every week for the majority of field itself. Driving in probably a much more difficult vehicle. The Cayman has a great amount of speed, especially in a straight line, but it loses the lack of grip and capabilities in these corners, and he's really got to manhandle that car right now, because if he doesn't, he can make very big mistakes that can be very costly to himself, and he doesn't want to do that if he wants to get up there and battle for the race lead. Meanwhile, Diamondman 2014, after starting on the front row, hasn't really lost too much ground from Adler Girl, but has RZM Sean all over the back bumper right now and trying to take charge here, as we lost FSM Gray in the field. Not sure if he had disconnected out of the race. We'll try to get an update on that, but FSM Gray out of the race. Very unfortunate. So FSM Gray, just as expected, had lagged out. Very unfortunate for the rookie. He had missed about a week, I believe. I'm reading the sponsor on the side of Diamond Man's car. As Sean looks to the outside, trying to make that pass. You know Sean wants to get as far ahead in the points championship as he can, because it's not set in stone for him just yet. Look at Sean, goes to the inside, going side by side around the first of 2 hairpins. And Sean gives him a little bit of a door slam right there. Not too much, but just enough, and he might get on by here. Oh, and Diamond Man has to lift just a little bit. Sean into the grass, hitting some cones, and here they come around the bend. Diamond Man always fighting hard, always running strong. Maybe vice versa at times. That was a big move for RZM Sean. He sees in the mirror Barcode and Design are on the way. And who is that moving up behind them? It might be, yeah, AMS Tsunami in the picture. He had some really good success early on this season before being absent the prior 2 weeks, driving in the Maserati 58 machine for Alien Motorsports. The Hawaiian out there and making things happen. And Bobberts has fought his way back into the top 10, up to the 8th place spot. So Sean now is trying to hunt down Adler Girl IG, who has led every lap so far in this race. And she's not an easy one to beat. She's very fast, very consistent, doesn't make many mistakes. So you think Diamond Man was a tough one to get to and get by, she is no slouch, and that's for sure. RZM Stiggy now still in front of AMS Tsunami. Stiggy has fallen back about a handful of positions since the start of this race. You see there is ESV Bobberts right now coming into the race picture. Bobberts hoping these guys and gals in front of him are going to keep fighting for position to have a chance to get up there and battle, trying to defend his championship. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is the 7th week of the series here in the MEA GT Championship Series. Currently your race leaders Adler Girl IG for Inertia Garage. RZM Sean has fought his way up to the second spot, trying to track her down. ESV Barcode has gotten into the top 5, currently running 4th, trying to get to Diamond Man 2014. We're riding along with Stiggy, who just gave up the 7th spot to ESV Bobberts, and Bobberts had a really bad start to this race, so Bobberts finding a little bit of momentum now as we hop on with ESV Barcode, currently running in the 4th spot. The top 5 not far apart from one another. Design doing a fantastic job staying with Barcode. 2 different cars, one that's probably a lot to handle right now. Only lost 1 driver, that was FSM Gray. Let's take a look at the field and how spread out. You see the 1, that's Adler Girl, and in the back, that final dot, that's RZX Ant. So that's kind of an idea of what you see throughout this entire field so far. How about we get on the rookie here for a moment? Gilbert Tyrell is currently running in the 11th spot. Started 10th in this race, only lost 1 position. Right now trying to get to SSR USA MVP. So Gilbert Tyrell making his rookie debut. He's also got RZX JJ Reds, our Daytona 500 champion earlier this year in the NASCAR Cup Series. Or I should just say the Daytona 500 because we don't run that race as a specific race in the NASCAR Series. So we'll just say the Daytona 500 champion, as Diamond Man's got some company now. We're going to find out how fast this Cayman is. Can he outpace Diamond Man's Maserati? He's looking to the outside, keeping in that clean air. He's got an AMS design right behind him who's been following him this entire race, and he ain't gonna be able to do it. Diamond Man's got the speed. Barcode throws it down to the inside, trying to get along the door of Diamond Man, and can't do it right there. And Diamond Man had the inside line, basically. He ran more of a middle outside line, but was able to close the door on the inside from Barcode, who looked like he tried to throw it in there, just didn't have enough speed. Oh, back at it once again. That's a very sketchy part of the track. You don't want to get too aggressive there on that kink. If you hit it the wrong way or you overdrive it, you're going to get right into that crash. You might spin around and you might collect not only yourself, but a couple other cars. It could really ruin your day. So it's a very tricky part of the track, especially going side by side into that kink. We've seen it once already with Sean and Diamond Man, but I believe it was Diamond Man who actually had to back out a little bit on that, and it almost became a catastrophe. Oh, Barcode still working on Diamond Man. And he got a good run through there. He's alongside that right quarter panel of Diamond Man. It's a battle of top speed, and if you're AMS design, you're just hoping that one of these guys taps the other just a little bit, maybe gets each other a little squirrely. And look at Barcode, he's got a good run to the outside, trying to take the 3rd spot away from Diamond Man. AMS design right there behind Diamond Man to go into turn 1. Barcode lays off the gas, he throws it down to the inside! And Barcode with a really nice braking point there gets to take over the spot. Diamond Man overshoots the corner, and Diamond Man's all loose, and AMS design will take over the 4th spot. So Design able to get through that, and it looks like Diamond Man's off the racetrack. And Diamond Man falls all the way back to 7th. Not sure if he's got any problems. It looks like he just lost control of the car. Tough break for Diamond Man, who was doing a really good job fending off Barcode, but lost those 2 spots. And that's what happens. These guys are aggressively driving with one another, putting in a lot of pressure, trying to make one make a mistake, and Barcode really made a very aggressive move and was able to get the job done. So big props to Barcode. That was one of the best passes I think we've seen this season. So Barcode doing a great job, and Well, he's got some work to do because right now, Sean is a little bit of ways in front of him, and he's tracking down a very fast gal as Adler Girl IG has led every lap so far up to this point, 8 out of 34 laps down, and there's still plenty of racing to go. Adler doing a really good job right now as she leads this. RZM Sean's gained just a little here and there. And now with Barcode breaking loose from Diamond Man, he can now try to track down Sean. And if you're Adler Girl, you're probably hoping that Barcode can get to Sean. Maybe they battle it out, duke it out for position, gives her some time to break away from them. Who knows? But this is going to be interesting to see. Because now you got 3 of the top points competitors right now in the championship running, and we'll talk about those stats here in a little bit as we hop on with ESV Bobberts, who's battling it out with AMS Tsunami. So you got a handful of teams right now inside the top 6 or 7. And Tsunami, you know, he's not one to give up a spot. He knows that he's missed a couple weeks. He knows he's had some really good pace early this season. I don't think he gives this to Bobberts that easy. I think he's going to make Bobberts earn every bit of it. These two are no strangers to one another. Tsunami gets really wide off the edge there, able to regroup just enough to stay in front of Bobberts on the inside, but these two have been duking it out, and you know, it goes all the way back to, I believe, week 3 at Silverstone, the national circuit, where it was raining and downpour, and Tsunami found a lot of success in that race, was able to duke it out with him. Bobberts and his teammate Design became one of the best finishes we've seen all season. So this is definitely going to be a tough pass for Bobberts, but just like Barcode, if you can be patient and be a little aggressive, you might be able to just have them make a mistake and have an opportunity to make a pass. As I see AMS Design still right there with Barcode in front of this battle that we're sitting on. This is going to be the tough part for Bobberts because these two guys are in the same car, but he looks like he got to the outside, just didn't have the momentum on the corner. And Tsunami able to get right back in front of him. And Bobberts, as we said, and ooh, Tsunami got really wide there. I'm not sure if Bobberts gave him a little bump on the bumper there or not, but that was a pass for Bobberts, and he's moved up into the top 5 now. And I'm sure if, whoa! I was just about to say, if Tsunami felt like he got a bump from Bobberts, he might be giving it back, and I'm not sure if he overdrove the corner right there, or he was trying to give it back like a little NASCAR bump, like, hey man, what was the deal? But I think it's safe. I think Bobberts is safe distance now that Tsunami's not going to have enough distance to close that gap, and if he is looking for a little bit of a, hey buddy, I appreciate that tap. Everything's kind of playing out now. Gilbert still in that 11th spot. He's now tracking down SMX Savitar for 10th. SSR USA MVP inside the top 10 now. RZX Woods 12th. FVR Era currently running 13th. 14th Riddle U. 15th HDR Bench. 16th Sparky Motors and RZX Ant to round out the field. And let's hop on with AMS Design. And Design's been doing a really good job. He's been very patient all race. He hasn't really had, for at least from my point of view, he hasn't had very eventful situations so far. And we're about to, we might have a 4 or 5 car battle here for 1st through 5th. Bobberts and Tsunami, even 6th, that'd be Tsunami's right there still with Bobberts. And this is what we're talking about. You know, these cars are so equally matched, especially the fact that the majority of this field had picked the Maserati as we hop on board with Adler Girl IG. These drivers up front are the cream of the crop right now, and like we've said, you're gonna have to make mistakes. I wouldn't say you, the other driver's gonna have to make a mistake. And you as the driver has got to put the pressure on and make minimal mistakes. We saw how Diamond Man, just one little mistake gets you all out of whack. Sean looking to go for his 3rd win this season, but Adler Girl, she's going to go for her 1st win this season if she can get the job done here today. Now the question is, pit strategy. I don't believe anybody can make it on one tank. So at some point in this race, they're going to have to pit. And if I'm Adler Girl and I'm out front, I am waiting until somebody behind her decides to pit, as long as it's not Sean, if Sean's still on her bumper, because I guess you could say I'm saying when Sean pits, you pit. Because right now, Barcode's got his hands full with that Cayman and all of design behind him. So all you got to worry about right now, if you're Adler Girl, how do I stay in front? How do I make the pits? Because she does not want to pit. I mean, if she pits before Sean does, and Sean stays out for a couple laps, she's fast, but Sean's really putting down some solid times right now, and he's really closed that gap on her since he was able to get past Diamond Man for that 2nd spot. It had taken him some time, but he's out braking her, and that's kind of where he's making up some of this time on the racetrack. So it's going to be interesting to see. What both these two up front know is there's 2 other drivers behind, and having their own little battle for 3rd, not really. I mean, Design's basically chasing him right now. As Adler gets up in that high line and then comes right down. Boberts, he's put some distance on Tsunami. It looks like Sean's got faster straight line speed than Adler does, and she hits the brakes hard there, and Sean gets to the outside. Has he got enough momentum? He hits a tire. Not enough momentum, but close. Adler Girl hangs on to the 1st spot. Sean right on her bumper. And if you're Sean, you know that you got a couple fast boys behind you, but it's not too much of a concern the way this race is played out. It's taking people many laps to get to one another. Sean hits that grass just a little bit. It looked like he got a little tail happy there. This is kind of what we've been seeing, is Adler comes out of that corner a little better than Sean does every time, but Sean closes that gap. And I think this next turn 1, as long as she's in front, I think Sean's gonna get there. And it looks like he got a bad entrance into the bus stop. He had a bad entrance. He lost too much. I was about to say, if he was able to really stay on her there, that would have been a turn 1 battle, side-by-side battle. Now, Sean lost a little time there, and he let a couple of friends come into the picture. So now he's got Barcode to deal with. And Design. And if you're Adler Girl, the best thing that could have happened just happened, and now you can kind of, you gotta be aware, but you can focus on your own race and hope that these 3 behind you are gonna really duke it out. And if you're Bobberts, this is 100% what you need, because you had such a bad start, but you're closing these people in. One by one, each and every lap. And we talk about angry driving. We might be seeing it from Bobberts right now. He didn't have a good start. Not sure what happened. He dropped outside the top 10. And I mean, if Bobberts can pull this off today and pick up the win, I don't know how anybody gets Driver of the Day award but him. And Tsunami's not far off. I mean, we can't forget about Tsunami. He's out there. He's roaming the plains. And he hasn't given up too much to Bobbers. I mean, they're right there. And Diamond's held on to that 7th spot. The only thing that I'm highly concerned about is the upcoming traffic. It's gonna go through a walkthrough of the field, but we'll wait. I really don't want to miss possibly a turn 1 battle here between Sean and Barcode. And I think Sean doesn't want to pit at this point either. But look at, oh, he is pitting. Sean is making a pit stop, the first and possibly only stop he should be making in this race. He is giving up that 2nd spot to Barcode. That is an interesting moment. I personally didn't think that that was the best decision. I really would have probably battled it out. Design throwing it kind of deep right there. I kind of, maybe at the same time, I think last week at Coda, lap traffic. If I was Adler, I might pit here too. Just because lap traffic can be a factor, and that might be what Sean was thinking of in that moment. And if you're Bob, you're thinking, man, why did you pit? They're closing in on Sparky Motors, or actually, no, I do apologize. That's RZX Ant they are closing in on. Design's still there. Design's running a very good race right now. He's been very, very, very consistent up to this point. Let's see what Adler does here. It looks like Ant, I don't know what Ant's doing. Ant's staying on the inside. Ant should have taken the outside, but he held his line. I think he made it really difficult for Adler to figure out, whoa, and Adler got reeled in a lot there going into turn 1. Not sure if she had a braking mistake right there, but the position 1 is now in battle mode between Adler Girl, Barcode, and Design. Design's throwing it in there. Bobbert's now getting by Ant, I believe. Let's hop on with Bobberts real quick. And Bobberts will get by Ant, no problem. So Ant trying to stay out of the way. And look at Design! AMS Design threw it into the inside. Almost had an opportunity for the pass. And this is why Design, we just can't rule this guy out. Great rookie campaign for the AMS driver. And Design trying to make something happen. Almost did right there. And I tell you what, Design's got some really good pace right now and could potentially get by if something like that happens again, especially coming out on one of these bigger straights. But Barcode has a lot of speed out of that Cayman. And here comes Design reeling him into the bus stop. Adler going up and down and all around, and Roberts is like, just keep fighting, you three. Sean, I don't want to go back, but it was Adler Girl that made a pit stop, and Barcode is in there. Oh, but Design gets into the back of, oh my gosh. Wow, I wasn't sure what we were about to see there, but Barcode didn't really send it, and Design did, and he hit him hard and pushed him right through and said, we are not dealing with this problem right here. We are getting past. Let's hop on with Sean as he's about to be coming by turn 1. And the battle possibly for the race lead right here as Adler does get out in front of Sean. But Sean gets to the inside, gives her a little love. guess he felt that he overdid it and gave it right back to her. In a way, I felt like that was a fair pass, just given the circumstances. Nothing malicious, but being a gentleman. Meanwhile, Barcode, we're still leading. Design overrode the bus stop on the entrance. And Sean gets to the inside of Adler Girl, but Adler to the outside, side by side as they head into the bus stop, but Sean was able to get in front, and Sean able to make the pass on Adler Girl. Someone else is in pit road, and that is Barcode. So let's stay on board with Adler Girl and Sean here and see how they come out to Barcode. I don't know, because Barcode got the push in the back. Sean and Adler got the little nudge in the corner. This should be close. I think Barcode's gonna either come out in front of Sean or behind Sean. I think he's in front of Adler Girl here. He's coming out of the pits right now. And he is definitely out in front of Sean. So, there you have it. Bobberts and Design still are out on the racetrack. Bobberts is really reeling in these drivers. He's really reeling these drivers in. A lot of racing still to go here. Savitar currently between Barcode and Sean gets to the outside of Savitar right there and trying to get by him. He would like to go track him down. You know, we go back to when Sean made that pit stop, and I just wasn't for it. I really felt that he should have stayed out there with him, battle it out for position. Oh man, they're still door to door, going into the bus stop here. Sean going too wide, and he able to make the pass. Good pass by RZM Sean to get by Savitar. And now Adler Girl's gonna have to deal with him here. I think Design and Bobberts are still out there. Yep, they're out there. So AMS Design and ESV Bobberts still out on the racetrack. AMS Tsunami as well. Trying to figure out their strategies right now. Diamond hasn't pitted either, neither has USA MVP. He's in that 5th spot. Probably got to get in trouble by MEA for no paint. Adler was able to get through or past Savitar, who was in pit road at this time. You can see the handbrake being used. Barcode. Now, I don't know how much battling MVP is going to do here. And that he is technically still to pit. Looks like the excitement could be ending here, because starting to space out. Bobbert, however, is coming out of the pits. See if he gets in front of either one of these drivers. Ooh, right behind Sean, right in front of Adler. So Bobbert's picking him up and putting him down. Now, Sean got really wide in turn 1. Not sure if Bobbert's kind of scared of him coming out of the pits. 14 laps to go. I think Bobberts might have the fastest consistent car on the racetrack right now. That is my personal analysis. Adler, who's led about 14 laps, 15 laps of this race. Now trying to find some pace here to try to get back up there and battle for position. Bobbert's trying everything he can. Now, we haven't forgot about AMS Design, and Design was really fast when he was battling with Barcode. He's coming out of the pits now. Will he be there with him still, or will he be in front? Or will he be behind? He's behind. So Design makes it out, and he stays in front. Or he passes, technically. He passes RZM Sean. Diamond 2014, currently a race leader, still has to make a stop. There's no way he makes it on 20% fuel, unfortunately. Then need to go get the good old gas tank and put some gasoline in there. We'll hop on with the fourth place battle between Sean and Bobberts, as we'll hop on with Bobberts. Now the girl may be losing a little bit of time. These two in front of her. The Barcode, the only one in a Cayman, currently your net leader. Bobbert's getting really wide right there. I wonder if the draft was a big factor for Design when he was following Barcode around, because he was right with him. I don't think Design is done just yet. I think he's got a good car. I think he's really, really fast right now, and I think if he can keep this thing the way it's been going, I think he can get back into that draft, track him down, get right on his bumper, and make something happen here. I think Bobberts overall has the fastest, consistent car on the racetrack. If he can get behind, I'm sorry, I'm butchering words right now. If he can get by Sean in the next 2 to 3 laps, I think Bobberts might have an opportunity to battle for the race lead if he is that fast right now. We got 2 cars lapped down. Ant and Sparky Motors, we got 1 off the track. Mechanical failure for FSM Gray. Also known as a disconnect. Sounds better when you say mechanical failure. And Bobberts might have an opportunity here to make a pass. Looked like he was, I thought for me, he was trying to get alongside his door. The way that this championship is going right now, I know Bobberts is probably getting a little less patient. He can be one of the most patient drivers on the racetrack, but given the circumstances and the points, which we will go over here very, very soon, I think you're going to see a little bit of aggressive driving from Bobberts here against Sean. Design, these are your top 3 drivers with the points. So let's pull up the points for you guys. Let's see here. Pull that up for you guys while these two battle it out. So right now, your top 3 in the points. You have RZM Sean that has 1,457. You have ESV Bobberts at 1,380, and 3 points behind him, AMS Design with 1,377. And then the last 2 to round up your top 5 is Diamond 2014 with 1,333 and 1,310 for RZM Stiggy. So that's your top 5 points right now. So these, Sean really has the championship in his hands, but he really has to finish the season out strong. He can't let up. You know, Bobberts missed 1 week, but had points from qualifying. It just takes one really bad week, though, for Sean. And, I mean, Bobberts will be right back in it. Same with Design. And if they all 3 have some bad weeks, this Diamond Man and RZM Stiggy will be in the mix, too. Bobberts is really trying here. And I tell you what, the battle for the race lead could be on. Design is back in the fight. The rookie has reeled back in almost the race leader of ESV Barcode. Could we get a 4th-time winner this season? Design putting on one of the best performances we've seen from him. I know there's some Design fans out there. Yeah, this is going to be pretty good right now for the race lead, I think. I mean, look at Design right there. We got 2 really good battles going on right now. Summer Road Fraudbirds. Why is he Fraudbirds? I want some names here. At least somebody's responding to the question. But for all those watching, feel free to comment down in the comment section. I do have that up on my phone, so I can read it from you guys and gals that are watching. Who do you think is going to win the MEA GT Championship Series in its 4th season? Can RZM Sean hold on to a strong points lead? Will Designer Bobberts somehow come back from that deficit and be able to have an opportunity to really spoil the show? Now, the only thing, I'm not answering any of that in the chat, but I am reading it. Try to behave in chat, please. But that being said, Barcode's your race leader. Let's go through the field now. We haven't done that yet today. I know we got some battles here. We'll come back to them. ESV Barcode and obviously Design right there. Third and fourth is RZM Sean and ESV Bowards. This battle particularly is going to get spicy here soon. I'm 100% positive. Adler Girl, who led so much of this race, currently out there in the 5th spot. 6th, AMS Tsunami, and Tsunami's right there closing in on Adler Girl. He had a good start to this race, however, I don't know what had happened during the pit cycle, but he lost a lot of ground on ESV Bowards, trying to close in on Adler Girl. 7th was the leader of the race, didn't get the lead a lap. Well, he did lead a lap, he stayed out for a lap or two. Diamond 2014 in that 7th spot. RZM Stiggy right there in the 8th position. These two guys right here, 7th and 8th, they are in the top 5 in points. A good solid day for both of them so far. First time this season, SSR USA MVP with no paint scheme. Probably going to get a points penalty for it. Currently running in the 9th spot in the top 10. SMX Savitar currently running in that 10th spot. He's fending off Gilbert Tyrell, rookie debut. The 11th position right now, and he's been there all the race for long, and he has been knocking on the door into the top 10. He might have an opportunity here. RZX JJ Reds in that 12th spot all alone. Hasn't had probably the day you'd like to have had, but he is out there driving the RZX Esports team's paint in that 12th position. FVR Era currently running in 13th right now. Haven't seen him for a couple of weeks. Good to see him back. Brittle U in the 14th position, driving something brand new tonight. Another new scheme. I think he heard about the new schemes, that we were enjoying them, and stopped doing the same thing every week. And then we got HGR Ben, said he was done for the season, came out of nowhere here today, currently running in that 15th spot. And then rounding out the field, the final 2 spots is RZX Ant, who's getting passed up by 10th and 11th place spot in that Cayman. Then Sparky Motors, who was given a points penalty earlier this week after a very unfortunate run-in last week. The MEA officials deemed just re-entry wasn't very well, and unfortunately he had to get that penalty, but still out there, still running strong in the R8. And then FSM Gray would have rounded out our field in the 18th spot. As we hop back up to the race leader of ESV Barcode, still leading the way of AMS Design, who's coming close, but it seems that Barcode might be finding some late race pace here, or Design's overdriving the car. We'll find out. Design's doing a great job. He's been there all race long. Still plenty of laps left, but we're getting to the closing stages here. If he wants to have an opportunity to win this race, he's going to have to get some laps in here and really put down the throttle, as Bobberts has lost some ground on RZM Sean, battling for that 3rd spot. And I told you, he's probably getting aggressive out there and have made a slight mistake, but he's been one of the fastest cars on the racetrack all race long. And I'm seeing some answers down here. Well, outside of Bobberts, I got someone picking Diamond Man for the championship. Hey, it's not far-fetched. He's currently 5th in the point standings, or I'm sorry, 4th in the point standings. F1 Merchant. I have to agree with you, K. Roberts. Design looks really solid this week, running really, really consistently right now, running probably the best race of his season. And it's no knock to him, because Barcode, who signed up in week number 2, is one of the very best in the game right now. And that is not an easy feat to beat. And he's doing a fantastic job chasing down one of the best in the series right now and having an opportunity to possibly win here today. So we're still going to keep his sights on him. And then the rest of everybody, guys, this conversation, I have to agree. If Design can get the win today, that's a huge, not only confidence booster for the young man, but a big boost of momentum. And not only that, a points shakeup. Because right now, Design is only a few points back from Bobberts in the championship for that 2nd spot. And Bobbert's 2 positions back, not where he wants to be right now. And Sean is kind of sitting there like, you know, I don't have the best car right now. We're not running consistently great, but I'm in a good position. I'm not in a bad spot that's going to affect me points-wise. So right now, Sean's probably comfortable finishing in the top 3 if he can. He knows that Bobberts is going to put a lot of pressure on him, and he knows that Design's pretty much in that same boat as Bobberts, that they need these next 4 weeks, or I should say these next 3 weeks following this week, to be very, very good for them. So some wins would really solidify being behind, but they're so evenly matched right now. It looks like Barcode overshot the corner, and Design was able to get close right there. So Design getting the inch a little bit closer to Barcode now. Sean as well, and here we go. 5 laps to go, and the battle is on for the race lead here at Daytona in the MEA GT Championship Series. The top 4 drivers right now, not far apart, and it could be anybody's race here. I gotta tell you what, by the end of this year, Design's performance as a rookie here at MEA could possibly give him the Rookie of the Year, not just the Rookie of this season here at the GT Championship Series, but if he continues to perform the way he's been performing, as fast and consistent as he's been, I mean, this gives him a great chance of getting that award at the end of the year. Sean's kind of closing in the door a little bit. And Barcode got a little bit further ahead, but I don't think Design wants to see Sean. I think he would really like to not have to play any sort of defense here. But Bobberts does, and Bobberts wants every bit of this to happen because he wants to be in the mix of this fight. It's crazy to think that we're at this point right now because I really thought Adler Girl was going to be really, really tough to beat here late. I thought if she could have stayed out in front of these guys before pitting, I think that would have been way more beneficial for her. You know, going back to the pit cycle when it all began with Sean, I really thought Sean made a big mistake on pitting before everybody else in front, because at that time of the race, he was in front of Barcode. He was in front of Design. He was in front of Bobberts, and Bobberts was way further back at that point in the race. So I really feel that Sean and Adler really hurt their chances of winning the race today because of pit strategy, and it looks like Design, who is sitting in the middle of the bus stop. Sparky Motors. Let's check on him. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, Sparky Motors having an accident in the bus stop. Just wanted to wait to get everybody out of the way. Good job by Sparky Motors avoiding any further damage to anybody and himself. He's going to have to make a quick pit stop here to get back on the racetrack. Back to the race lead. We got a 3-car battle for the first, second, and third spot. Meanwhile, Bobberts has not made any progression since really losing that ground to Sean. And I gotta think right now, Sean's gonna put all the pressure in the world on Design. He doesn't want Design to get this win. Those are some big points to give up. If Design wins, that is 10 points from him in second. I believe from second and third, that's about 4 to 5 points. I don't have the point sheet. I don't memorize it that well, but there's a significant points gap here, and that's why I'm saying these remaining weeks are very crucial for Design and Bobberts, and they are for Sean too, but Sean's destiny is in his hands right now. He really can't mess it up unless he messes it up. So if Design can get the win here today, those are some critical points. You guys in chat, you're something else. And that was a good run by Design out of the bus stop. problem that Designs had, and this isn't just now, this was at a point in the race where they were running third, fourth, second, third, and he was right on the bumper, is he hasn't had the straight line speed to really make aggressive moves. That Maserati isn't something you can just throw around. It's got a lot of weight to it typically. That Cayman's a little lighter. You see both the Maserati drivers go a little bit wider, but they're seeing some traffic now. This could play a factor with 2 laps to go. I want to hop on with Design here. Let's get on board with Design, because I don't know how Riddle's going to play this one out, but he's not just going to step to the side. Riddle's going to have to, keep running his race, try to get out of the way. But who's this really going to affect right now? That's the question. And Riddle U getting way wide into the corner there. Bobbert's kind of leaned in. He's kind of closing a little bit. This could be big for Design. Oh, Barco getting really wide off the corner there. And they are right on each other right here, right now. It's game on, baby. It's game on. These guys are going to go at it, and I am excited to see what turnout is going to happen here, good or bad, for better or for worse. Look at that. Riddle U just gets out of the way on the back straight, watches all 4 leaders go by. This is what we wanted to see. People thought, Daytona, they're going to spread out. They're not going to be with one another. Nah. We got the draft going on here. We got 4 very talented drivers up front. Anybody's race to win here. The white flag next time around. Can Design pull this off? Can Sean pull it off? Is Bobbert's going to somehow fight? Well, and Sean throws it way down into turn 1. He's going to go for that second spot side by side off of 1 now. They're still side by side. Sean gives way just a little bit through the S's. Design gets loose, caught off the corner. Still side by side going into the hairpin now. Bobberts makes it 3 wide off the exit. And Bobberts going for the second spot. 3 wide battle off the corner. And Bobberts prevails. Bobberts goes from 4th to 2nd, making a big dive to the inside. That's a huge move. Design able to maintain the 3rd spot now. Sean, but Design goes off into the grass to the outside. Sean goes for 3rd. And they're still side by side off the corner now. Bobbert's trying to get an opportunity to go for a late race win. Riddle U, Sean not able to get the job done, and Design's able to hold him off as they headed to the bus stop. What a big move by Bobberts back there. Was not expecting that. It all started with Sean on the first turn of that lap, created some problems there for him and Design. Bobbert took a chance of an opportunity, made it 3 wide, and it really paid off. Design is all out of sorts right now, coming out of the bus stop. He's got to recollect and try to get back on track here. 1 lap to go, white flag this time by. Talk about a drive of the day right now. White flag this time. RZX JJ Reds currently, that's Ant taps with Barcode. He hits Barcode. An opportunity for Bobberts and Design to the inside of Bobberts. As they go side by side into the hairpin now. Bobberts trying to hold off that inside. Sean dives down low. Design able to get the run off of the corner. An opportunity here for Bobberts and Design. The final lap here, and it's a dicey one. It's the Cayman, the Maseratis following that man. Wow. And Design looking to the outside of Bobberts, trying to get that run. Sean all over the back bumper of Design now. We talked about Barcode making a pass of the season. That Bobberts, that had to be close to that, if not better. The final time through the bus stop. Does anybody have a good run to come through? Barcode, not the best entry. Bobberts might have a run here, but they're all going for it. Design to the outside. Who's got the best straight line speed? He doesn't have it. And coming around for the final time, it's Barcode, able to hold on for the race win. Bobberts second, third AMS Design, fourth RZM Sean. Great battle by those four drivers. Adler will bring home fifth. Sixth will be AMS Tsunami. Seventh. Whoa, we got a seventh place battle though between Diamond Man 2014 and RZM Stiggy. These two are fighting inside the top 5 in points right now. Stiggy does he have it? Does he have the speed? I don't think he does. 7th Diamond Man, 8th RZM Stiggy. Those two fought real hard there at the end. 9th SSR USA MVP, first time this season. 10th spot, that's SMX Savitar for the final time. Able to hold off Gilbert Tyrell. 10th for Savitar. Tyrell takes home 11th. 12th place finisher is going to go to FBR Era. He had a very quiet race. Griddle U dealing with the AI. Currently running 13th. HGR Benz 14th. They're all going through the AI right now. JJ Reds. Not sure what happened to JJ. He was running 12th. I believe he was running 12th. Majority of this race. A tough race for JJ Reds. He's gonna bring that thing home 15th. RZX Ant dealing with AI as well. Tried to stay out of trouble. Made things pretty interesting there at the end. Sparky Motors should round out the field in 17th, and then 18th would have been FSM Gray, but ESV Barcode, your race winner. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a top 5 post-race interview coming up next. Hopefully we'll get some questions answered, and we'll get a top 5 interview done here. Alright, so we just sent Adler Girl her questions for interview. Hopefully she'll get back to us. Well, let's get Barcode, Bobberts, Design, and Sean in here. So just stay tuned. Post-race interviews coming up next here at MEA in the GT Championship Series. Stay tuned. And just one more invite, and we should have everybody in here. We're still waiting for a couple of the drivers to finish their final lap of the race, but gosh, everybody, what an exciting ending to that race. And I gotta tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, from the start to the end of that race, there was not a dry moment. I mean, we're watching the AI battle out right now between Design and Bobberts, and the race is over. I mean, you don't get that just anywhere. But no, on a serious note, what an exciting race from start to finish. Definitely, I believe that the results are coming to a close here, as I think someone might have backed out. But we'll get everybody in here. I think I need Design. I think he lagged out. So we'll get Design back in here. Let's get him in here. All right, so definitely tough racing out there today, for sure. And we got Design back in here. Hopefully he can stay in here this time. Can everybody hear me that just joined the party? Design, you in here?
Yes.
Okay, everyone's good. Okay. All right, make sure you guys have your audio checked off, please. Just to make sure. I'll make sure we get the final results here. I believe they're kind of wanky. I think someone backed out before it was done, so we'll have it. I have it all done on this stream. No, everything's correct. It's just the back end. It's all good. It's all good. We're good. Everything's correct. It's just this ending group. I think Era backed out before he should have. I'm not sure. I'm not positive. But this is your final results regardless. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to have a post-race interview here, and we're going to talk to the top 5. I had sent Adler Girl a message with questions, so hopefully she will be able to answer all of them for us before this is over. But let's get to it. Top 5, and Adler Girl might have not been in the mix there at the end of the race, but boy oh boy did she lead a lot of laps and was able to really be a part of that mix of drivers that really battled it out hard. She finished 5th overall. We'll try to see if she gives us some post-race interview answers to some of the questions I asked her. But we'll go up to RZM Sean, the points leader, and for the first time this season, Sean, you are not on the podium. You finished outside the top 3. A good day overall for you, but definitely not, I would say, in your driving history, probably the best run for you this season, finishing 4th overall, but extremely, extremely eventful all around. You know, there's so much we could talk about. But the one thing I really want to get out of the way here, and we'll get to the rest of it, is that 2 laps to go, you're sitting right behind Design. Eventually, you make that move. I mean, that was one of the greatest aggressive moves ever because it turned into a very eventful turn of events, and Bobbert's making a pass. I mean, take us through that moment and the process of making that move.
Yeah, I suppose I was always looking for something. I mean, going into that corner, I wasn't 100% going for a move. It was more I just sort of found myself braking a bit later than everyone else, and went for the gap, which I think I maybe come in a bit too hot in the end. But yeah, it didn't ultimately work out for me, which is unfortunate. But I didn't want to just sit in 3rd and not go for anything, you know.
And you know, you were in the midst of all that. You battled with Diamond Man early on in the race. It took you a bit to get by him. Eventually, you were able to get the job done. And then you had that long period where these laps here, it just seems like they're so long almost, but it took you a while to get to Adler Girl. When you finally got to her, you had Barcode and Design coming from behind. You decided to pit early. What was your mentality with the earlier pit stop? I mean, I just felt like that was a moment of the race for you that really changed the turn of events and how it had played out up to that point, because you were battling for the lead. You had them behind you. You pitted, and then it kind of just didn't swing in your favor there. What was the processing for your pit cycle?
Yeah, I wasn't driving well, frankly. I took a bit of a break this week, and it didn't really work out for me very well, and I just never felt like I had the car under me. So I was just trying to pit, hopefully get a few laps where all I had to focus was my lines and what I was doing.
And then during that pit cycle, Adler Girl was able to get out in front of you. That kind of shook things up. You guys got connected a little bit there in the first hairpin. And then later in the race, there you were, and things just kind of really played out. I mean, take us through the majority of that race today. And were you having fun out there? You talked about how you just didn't really have the car with you this week, but did that change how your personal excitement because it seemed like you guys were having a lot of fun out there?
Yeah, I mean, they were good battles for sure, and I mean, all the drivers around me were driving great, but always defending is not where you want to be in those battles, really. And that's how it really felt for me out there for the most part.
Now, we know that you finished fourth, but did you feel like you were the fourth or fifth fastest car on track today? I mean, did it just seem that nothing was really clicking for you, or, take us through that? Because it seemed, up to this point, you've been very dominant outside the battles between you and Barcode, and you guys have been swapping weeks. Last week, Barbers picked up the win, but you've had a lot of pace this season. Today, just like you said, it just didn't seem to be your day.
Yeah, I think I didn't have to be the fourth fastest car, but I think I maybe was. I think towards the end of the race, like the last few laps, I was keeping an all right pace, but it's just too late.
Well, nonetheless, Sean, a fourth place finish. You're a good finish, but your worst finish on the season. Still a few weeks left in this one. The championship's still in your hands. But you got to think with the way that Design and Bobberts came to fight today, that's definitely got to be on your mind going into the final couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely going to have to put a bit more work in on the final weeks, try and pick up another win, hopefully.
Well, nonetheless, Sean, congratulations on a top 5 finish today. Hard-fought battles for you all the way around, but we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And that was RZM Sean, 4th overall. Still waiting to see if we can hear back from Allerger, but we're going to move up and we're going to talk to AMS Design. And Design, you had one of the best performances of the season for sure. This was definitely the day that could have really changed, and not only changed, for winners, but really a shakeup in the points. And there you were, right behind Barcode from start to finish of this race. There was a section between the pit cycle where you lost quite a bit of ground. How big, and my first question for you is, how big of a factor was the draft today? Did that really help you a lot throughout this race?
For me, yeah. I honestly put like 400 or 500 laps into the track today, so that's just kind of where my pace came from. And if that's what it's going to take the rest of the season, then that's fine as well.
And, you were part of that mix, but, compared to a couple of the other drivers, your mix of battles, you were with Barcode all race long, but it didn't really happen to you until like the last about 5 laps of that race, and obviously the last 2 laps where you really had everybody around you finally. And were you expecting the pass by by Sean, and then all of a sudden just Bobberts coming out of nowhere? I mean, take us through those moments.
I thought Bobbert's pass was a bit aggressive going into that particular spot of the racetrack, but I'm happy with today, but at the same time I'm not. I feel like I was faster than third, and I don't know. We'll just keep it moving and see what happens, I guess.
Well, you've had one of the, it's your rookie season here. It's overall in MEA, it's your rookie debut period. But you've had a great season so far. You had one really rough week up to this point. But outside of that, I mean, today, you talked about the amount of practice you put in, but today really showed the type of pace you can have. And it had to feel really good being up there. And I mean, did you feel that you had some passing opportunities? I mean, take us through the difference between that Cayman and, because it seemed like you had a couple of chances, but you just weren't able to throw the car around the way you wanted to.
I tried to drive the Cayman earlier this week, and I found out very, very quickly how much of a pain that car is to get around any track. So hats off to him for Barcode's one of the best, and he drove it like he should today, and the passing opportunities I felt was lap traffic. I think he had a collision there on one of the final laps, and it was able to help me get a bit closer, but then everybody else just punched up, and it just didn't work in my favor.
Yeah, in that moment was the lap car of RZX Ant got to the inside, bumped Barcode, that kind of stacked up Bobbers, and you had an opportunity to try to squeeze in there, but just kind of ran out of real estate. It definitely seemed like lap traffic was an opportunity to pass a majority of the day. Did you have any concerns dealing with the lap traffic when it came about, or was it pretty much, you go first, buddy, and I'm just going to figure out where the gap is?
I can tell you that I got extremely terrified in bus stop when Spark Motors was sitting down at the bottom.
He actually was damaged really bad. He was waiting for you guys to go through because they explained that to anyone who didn't know.
I saw what happened last week when I watched the replay, and uh, as soon as I saw where he was, I was just like, okay, let's just get through this the best we can.
Well, nonetheless, I mean, outside of the personal feelings, I mean, you ran one of the best races you've had all season. Do you plan on? And I know you said you had to put a lot of practice, but do you plan on bringing this type of performance into these next couple weeks? Because the championship's still in grasp. I mean, it's a top 3 battle for the title. A lot can still happen. What's going through your mind going into these next few weeks?
Well, I got short work weeks for the ending portion of this season, and so I get a little bit more time to play. So if I have to put in this many laps to run with these guys, that's just how it's gonna have to be.
Well, the benefit is you got that fire in your eyes right now. You're very motivated, so it's going to be really, really fun to see how you pan out and see if you can, take this championship away. But congratulations on a great run today. Maybe not the result you were hoping to have, but definitely showing a lot of people you were here to race, and we hope to see that further in the weeks to come. But congratulations, 3rd overall.
Thank you, and congrats to the other drivers.
And that was AMS Design 3rd overall into today's race. We're going to move up to ESV Bobberts 2nd overall today. And Bobberts, one heck of a drive by you. It's not been the season that you've hoped to have. Probably one of the worst seasons. I mean, if we really look back, this has to be one of your worst seasons in the GT Championship Series specifically. But today, you started off really rough. You went outside the top 10. You came back from 11th. You really fought hard to get back up to the front, and good thing everybody was battling because it gave you plenty of time to get up there. And then, at that last moment, you had opportunities. You took an opportunity. Take us through all of that because you had one heck of a ride today, and it was not dull whatsoever.
Yeah, so obviously turn 1 was just ridiculous. I've watched it back. Design and Tsunami got caught together, a little bit of a tap went into me. Design slightly rubbed me, but then it was, Tsunami was the end result and put me in the grass, so I was actually down to 15th. So it was obviously a big recovery drive from there. I personally felt I was the fastest today, not to be big-headed, but the fact that I came from 15th and to finish 2/10 off barcode, I just felt like I had the car to win today. I was confident being at a night race. I feel like this is where I seem to shine a bit more than during the day races. But I'm very happy to finish 2nd. I'm very happy to have made that recovery. But at the same time, I'm a little bit annoyed because it seemed it was just ruined on the first turn, on the first lap.
Well, obviously, drama is part of motorsports and part of the game. But, I mean, outside of that, I mean, can we call it angry driving? Were you angry driving out there, or were you just very focused and knew you had the pace throughout that race?
I was angry initially. Obviously, I said in the party, what the hell was that? May have thrown an F-bomb in there, I can't remember. But no, I just got my head down from there. I just made my way through the field initially to begin with, and once I got to 8th place, then it was, and then past Stiggy, it was then a case on just trying to catch Tsunami and then gradually catch up to the leaders, which obviously I managed to do. A few mistakes here and there, which is just kind of normal, I guess, really. And that pass on the penultimate lap. I mean, I knew Sean was always going to go to the outside because he was maybe trying to get a switchback, so I was going to follow Design through. I saw a gap then because he went a little bit wide, and I took the opportunity. And because sometimes I've been deemed not be aggressive enough sometimes, so I was a little aggressive, maybe. But at the end of the day, Robin's racing, and nobody was caught out, and I was happy to get that 2nd place, I guess, in the end.
Well, just one more question here before we get to barcode, because obviously we got to get to him next year. But you talk about that moment, and it seemed like it took you a hard minute to really regroup after trying to fight with Sean for a while. You got the opportunity, but it really came down to the last lap for you. And he makes that move, and it just everything goes around. What what was your decision to make that move? It was a very aggressive move, and I can understand some of the concerns about the drive. Honestly, from a spectating point of view, it seemed very fair. But you guys, you guys really, in that moment, I mean, it was wild. I mean, just take us through that, and what was the decision to finally make the move like that?
Like I say, yeah, just before, obviously, I had a couple of attempts on Sean, but he just, blocked the inside, so he just did a great job defending. So I had no chance then. Like I said, yeah, made a mistake to drop back, and then, it was just only when they really started to fight it out, Sean caught up to them, that I was then coming back. And like I said, on that penultimate lap, I think Sean may have ever so slightly tapped design, I think, from what I was seeing. Gave me the opportunity to catch right up to their bumpers, and as I said before, design covered the inside. I knew Sean was always going to go to the outside, so I thought I'd take the inside, maybe give him a side-by-side battle into the hairpin, but as I said, design went a little bit wide, so there was an opening on the inside, and I took it, and I was always going to take it every day of the week. So yeah, like I said, it was a great battle. Personally, I thought these guys are top drivers. I couldn't ask for better people to race against, week in, week out, and let's hope the last 3 rounds bring us exactly the same.
Well, nonetheless, it was a very interesting race. I know you're doing everything you can to defend your championship, but a lot of work still to do. We look forward to the weeks to come. Congratulations, second overall today.
Thank you, and GG Barcode on being a goat in that Cayman.
ESV Bobberts, second overall today. We talked to the winner of the race, ESV Barcode. And Barcode, this was, I would say it was a very challenging race to get to where you were, and that is the lead. It took a while. It took some laps. You didn't have a great start. I mean, it wasn't a horrible start. You just kind of slowly made your way through the field. I mean, it was about the halfway point when it was, I believe, when you finally had gotten to the lead. Take us through those moments up to when you got the lead. How challenging was it for you? And I know that the Cayman was difficult to drive, but how hard to get to the front was it for you?
Pretty hard in this. I mean, the start was cautious. I didn't get the best launch I could have, so I kind of just took my time. I made places, and people made mistakes at turn 1. I just kind of slowly made places up as people were battling and making mistakes. Some pitted as well.
And when you finally took the lead, I mean, take us through the battle between you and Design. You guys were together from pretty much start to finish. He was right on your tail the whole time. What was the advantage that you had over him? And I know that you drove a separate car, but there was a moment in the race, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I think you might have been battling with Diamond Man, but you were able to throw that Cayman to the inside of turn 1. I mean, it was a great pass, but you had that moment, and it just seemed like every time that Design wanted to make a moment, and we know that we talked to him earlier about it, he just wasn't able to make that type of move. So what was the difference maker between you and him, and how were you able to stay in front of him for so long in this race?
I mean, the Cayman is very good. Like, on the rotation, it rotates very quickly, although very unstable. I mean, it's strongest like in the infield. So it was really good. I lost loads of time though into the entry to turn 1 for the most part, and the bus stop. But yeah, I was holding on well, though my hand was killing me towards the end of it.
And, we talked about the end, and we talked about a little bit ago to 2 of the other drivers. You got involved with RZX Anther late. You were fortunate enough to not lose control of the car and trying to stay out of the way. Just, I don't know what the whole come together really was there. Maybe just not noticing one another, but you got tapped, you got a little loose. Bobberts gets to your rear bumper. Design had a chance to get to the inside of both, you just not enough room. And just take us through that moment and how I mean, were you had to feel a little antsy in that moment. Just how difficult was it for you to hold on to the car and keep the lead?
It was pretty difficult. I mean, I don't know what really he was doing. I kind of hoped he'd back off earlier, but he kind of didn't. It was kind of in a really awkward spot, and he ended up tagging me. Thankfully, I saved it after that, and I was just honestly holding on after that. I kind of lost my rhythm after he tapped me.
And I know that you might not have been paying attention to what happened behind prior to that, but or right after that, but were you concerned for some dive bombs there once that all happened? Because these guys started getting really aggressive behind you. You're kind of out of the. You're obviously not in the fight for the championship, but these guys are. They're hungry. They're trying to get every point they can get. what was going through your mind? Did you feel like they were going to take some shots? Because those points for the win are significant to second.
Yeah, I knew that someone was maybe going to go for it into the first horseshoe, so I just kept parking on the inside, and kind of knew after that I was safe since my car was really good out, but then kind of passing into the king is not possible, really.
Well, I know it was a tough race for you overall, a lot to handle in that car and a lot of fight to get to the front, but congratulations on your win today. Hard fought once again, and I'm sure you like to enjoy those battles, but sometimes they could get a little rough there at the end. You probably don't enjoy that part too much, but nonetheless, congratulations on picking up the win today.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was ESV Barcode, first overall. Once again, your top 5 finishers: ESV Barcode, ESV Bobberts, AMS Design, RZM Sean, and Adler Girl IG. And I don't have the full results up there anymore for you guys because everyone backed out of the lobby, but I do have them. So, nonetheless, thanks for watching a great, eventful round number 7 at Daytona International Speedway here in the MEA GT Championship Series. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for watching, and we wish you all a great night, and we'll see you next week.